So, is Leroy broken? Of course he is. He's one of the most broken characters in Tekken 7 right now. But how can we nerf him? Well, stick around to find out in this episode. Hey everyone, my name is Eddie Wang and welcome to Damage Scaling Community channel. And today I'm going to do something that I never did on this channel before for Tekken, which is to suggest nerfs to a certain character. And the character I'm going to suggest nerfs to today is going to be Leroy Smith. That's because Leroy is the second most broken character in the game. But if Namco isn't really careful and care only about Funkum Ram, Leroy is going to be an extremely boring character that is still gonna keep continuing to sucking out the life of Tekken in general. So Leroy is a very good character, but he has no goals. Maybe that's because he is a combination of the other characters' tools and doesn't really have a goal on his own. For example, Jin is a character that can be built on, he has every tool in the game, but every single tool that he has is pretty generic compared to the rest, and the only good move that he has, and even then, is forward 4, which he can use to enforce like the type of game that he's going to design. But Leroy doesn't have anything like that. For example, Steve can be a character that calculates your timing and counter hits you in between, and when you are too afraid to start pressing buttons on Steve, then his peekaboo stance and the other stuff that he has start to take an effect on you. Paul is going to destroy you if you are too button happy. Low, for example, is a character designed around counter hits, but Leroy has literally everything handed to him, and there is very little risks using this character because he has some stuff that even on neutral are like game breaking, and it's really not fun. It's really not fun. I don't know how people are having fun playing this character, but it really pushes me away from Tekken just picking him up to play. So what I think that makes Leroy extremely strong, like too good, is the package that he has. He has a combination of tools that package is just too good. It's too good for this character, in my opinion. And the effort that the output that he gets from the little effort that he puts in is too much. I believe the main man says this a lot, and it's true. This character, you can practice this character just a little bit, but the output that you are going to get with the stuff that you're going to learn in a week, in a month, is going to be extremely hard to deal with. That's Leroy. So what are the things that make part of this package? Well, I already put them apart and I'm going to show you individually. The first one is this thing right here. This is too strong. It's just to show you guys, I have the configuration settings to guard all if you take the first hit. So this is a high mid, right? And if you are trying to duck, for example, this thing right here, which is a triple high, it has a high mid that is going to be guaranteed if the mid connects. And this isn't even the worst part. So if the jab connects on counter hit, which is something that happens a lot in Tekken, then all the thing is guaranteed. All the thing is guaranteed. So this is broken. Too broken. Not only because of this shouldn't be guaranteed on the first hit only, it should be guaranteed if the second hit was a counter hit, then he would be allowed like to connect this. This would be the correct way, but having this from the first hit going into this is too strong, is too much, and Jab is something that happens in Tekken a lot, and he can hit confirm this. Check you out with the jab and see if you are pressing on top of the +1. So there is very little risks to this. It doesn't really matter, and he can put the brakes on. Even though he is -13, but he can still put the brakes on. So it's really too much. And then he has this. This is a high mid string. The first two hits are guaranteed, delayable and staggerable. So he can do this, and if you press a button in between, it's also guaranteed. As you guys can see, from the third hit on counter hit is guaranteed. If the second hit connects on regular hit, it's guaranteed. And if the last hit connects on counter hit, it's also like a long shot. Come on, what's this? So he is allowed to come from this point, pursuing a hit that is going to put you in the air if you do not press a button. So you have to guard, and he can put the brakes on. And the only unsafe part of this string is, of course, the last hit. So he can do this, brakes. So, and if he connects, just take a look at the delay. This is so delayable that is not even funny, and not character in the game outside of maybe Jin can parry this stuff, and the other characters really do struggle a lot against it. And wait for it, you just thought, maybe this is just what this is it. No, he also has a built-in parry in between those two hits, and he can still stop like Steve from using moves if he is already attacking. So trying to interrupt Leroy is literally a nightmare, because he can literally hit you from any point and you cannot do anything about it. You cannot do anything about this. This is just too much. Come on. I'm trying to get the let's see if I can do this. I'm trying to get the parry, and it has to be something fast. Man, this covers so much range. It's not even funny. Come on. Maybe if I delay. I can get it. Let's see one more time. But now that he has, I'm just going to record like something else, like maybe, yeah, this. Come on, what's this? Come on. So this is broken. This string is too good, despite being -13. Is too good of a string. Just imagine if your character had this, and it's a high mid, it's safe, and it has a built-in parry. And we are going to get to the Hermit stance. Just let me go around some more stuff. So this is just the string part, and these three strings are extremely broken because the synergy between those three are just too good. And then he has this, which is pretty fast, and is a natural combo. He can keep this as long as some of the stuff that need to happen that I'm going to explain right now. So this is too fast. The hellsweep is too fast, insanely fast, and has synergy with this and this, because he can dash into this, and he can dash into this. So this is all the three moves of Leroy that have synergy. So you cannot duck. Because he's going to hit you with 422, which is only -13 on block. Just let me activate this right here. -13. This needs to be more punishable, in my opinion. This, because it makes like this, which is going to impossibility like breaking you from from ducking or to stepping, this is going to take the same risk that he's going to get from this is the same risk that he gets like from this. The output is bigger than the risk that it takes for using this move. And this move should be at least -14 at best, -14, or even really -15. Since this is already -14, then this one should be -15. This being -13 is just too good. And sure, and like for example, imagine Jin has a ECD1, right? And his electric version and the regular version are both -13. In Tekken 6, the electric version used to be -11 and they made it -13, and that move is 19 frames. 19 frames, 16 frames startup and 3 frames of execution, which makes it 19 frames. This one is like 14 frames startup and like 2 frames execution. So it's a 15 frame to 16 frame move that is just too good, really too good. And the output he gets, like most characters cannot launch at 13 frames, so he gets with a slap on the wrist is what he gets away with. And then of course, of these three, this one needs to be slower. The hellsweep is too fast and unreactable, and if you try to duck, he has this. So he is allowed to have this, but this needs to be made a little bit slower, considering he is not, this is a hellsweep, can be made from a dash, from a sidestep, from whatever. It's too easy to do, and it's unseeable. 18 frames is unseeable. No one can see this low that fast. No one, not even me. And then you have the two most broken stances in the game. One is the parry, and we are going to get to that, and there is also the Hermit stance. So not only you have to worry about one or the other, but when he enters the Hermit, you have to worry about both, because while on Hermit, Leroy can parry, he can also sidestep, and while the sidestep is negative, he can sidestep and cancel that negative frames with a parry. And the parry alone reminds me a lot of Tekken 4 Jin's parry, which would literally parry everything you do. Even if you did like too early, it will still be able to like parry stuff on the latest active frames possible. So this has way too many active frames. It parries automatically, and it can literally punish every type of jab that is thrown at him. Just going to show you, right? As you guys can see, he did it automatically, and he can, come on, this is bullshit. This is just bullshit. So he gets to do this and punish you from trying to jab him out. So the only thing that Leroy cannot do in his parry is to avoid a throw. But when he is on Hermit stance, he is on absolute defense. This is a stance with literally no weaknesses at all. You cannot grab him, you cannot punch him, you cannot use a low against him, you cannot go into the air with something, because his parry is going to parry everything that you have. His Hermit is going to counter every low that you have. He has an orbital from it, which is going to avoid throws, a sidestep which can avoid stuff. He has also a jab, a 12 frame jab from it, which thank godly doesn't launch on counter hit, but he also has like a launch at 14 frames from the from the Hermit stance. He also has a wall bound move from it, and he can go low for a counter hit if you are trying to press buttons. And he also has like counter hit launches that are safe. He has moves that have built-in auto parry, and he can parry. What is like literally the Hermit stance is Anna CGM, is Jinzen, is large dynamic entry, is Hitman stance, and he can sidestep and he can parry while at it. This is the most broken stance to exist in the Tekken history. It's too much. He has a safe kick from it, that has a natural combo from it, and he can go low as well. Can go low from it. He can also come on, it's too much, it's too much, it's too much. So what I suggest Namco do is, the Hermit stance shouldn't be able to parry. This needs to go. The Hermit stance shouldn't be able to sidestep into parry. Sidestep but not parry. Not parry from Hermit stance. And of course he can keep the rest, but having the parry there defeats the whole purpose of the stances. It makes like really too good. So I'm gonna sit in this stance and I'm going to guess everything you have. So the moment I get a life lead, let's say the time is running out, I'm gonna sit on this stance and I'm just gonna make a read, and everything you try to throw at me, GG's. Come on. And this is safe. GG's. There is no bad option of the Hermit. He can do this, which is guaranteed. This is guaranteed, and all this leads straight into Hermit, and the Hermit is really just this good. Is really that good. So please Namco, please take away the parry from this stance. It's ridiculous. Imagine Jin enters Zen and then he is able to parry without cancelling Zen, or even to sidestep from Zen. It's going to be ridiculous because his forward 4 into Zen is already too strong. Imagine Jin now can forward 4 into Zen and cancel Zen with a sidestep or a parry or an electric. It's going to be too much. This character has too much stuff. He is all over the place. It's almost impossible to whiff punish him in certain situations when he is attacking. Counter hit is something that he doesn't really worry much about it. He can just go in there and do his stuff. There is nothing working against this character at all. So really hope on season 4 something is done about this character that makes him actually play Tekken, because this is not Tekken. This is not Tekken, Namco. Sorry, but it's true. I'm sorry if I'm hurting the sensibility of Leroy mains, but this character is extremely boring. There is nothing that makes this character fun, because it does everything good and does nothing bad. Jin has everything, but he is pretty generic. You have to understand his tools, how to use each single one of them in the situations that are most favorable for you. But this character is just a hack-away version of Jin, and it's extremely boring. That is true. So kudos to Namco, and I'm really excited for season 4, but this character, something needs to be done about it. Really hope they do it. So let's nerf Falcon Ram next. I'll see you guys on the next video.